welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. My name is Vivian and I am 27 years old and I am currently in a relationship with my boyfriend D, who is 21 years older than me, which apparently technically makes us in an age gap relationship. So he is 48 years old. And today I wanted to talk about potential age gap relationship mistakes to avoid. All right, and I just want to say, if you're watching this and you are in an age gap relationship and you are struggling for whatever reason, you're struggling from the judgment that you're facing, you're struggling from miscommunication or misunderstanding between you and your partner, I just want you to know it's totally normal. It's totally normal. And I know it's so easy to feel like you are alone and that you are the only one going through this, but the reality is most people don't blast their relationship issues online. And so that's why you just don't feel like other people are struggling. You may feel like you're the only one struggling, but it's just because most people don't openly talk about it. So the first thing I just want to tell you is that you are not alone. I promise you that. All right, so now let's get back to the potential age gap relationship mistakes that I encourage you to avoid. And the first one is assuming that your friends and your family members should understand your relationship and should accept it. And I know how hard it is when these are people that you love and they're people that you're close to and you love your partner and you just want everyone to get along and you're just thinking, why can't we all love each other? Why can't we all just be positive and encouraging? Why does there have to be judgment? Why does there have to be negativity? At least that is what I thought in the beginning. And something that you have to realize is that if you are a human being on this planet, which I'm pretty sure you are if you're on YouTube watching this video, misunderstanding between human beings is an inevitable part of life. There are people out there who have certain fetishes or desires, or they decide to do certain things with their life that you probably don't understand. And that is okay. That is a beauty and the curse of being human, is that we are all unique and different. But when we are unique and different, it can be hard to put ourselves in other people's shoes if we don't feel like that's something that we would do ourselves. And if we don't feel like it's something we would do ourselves, it's really hard to understand it and to accept it and to empathize with it. So just when you feel judgment from your friends and your family, I know this is easier said than done, but don't fight against it. Don't try to convince them. Let it go. Do your best to let it go. And if you cannot let it go, then think about something else. If you feel like you keep ruminating about how frustrating it is and how you hate that they don't understand, focus on something else. Focus on your passions, your hobbies, your relationship, things that you love. Get your mind off of that topic, because it can take time to let things go. It can take time to sit with certain beliefs and ideas and truths in our lives to allow ourselves to let it go. And so if you can't let it go right now, get off the topic, think about something else, do something else, put your focus and attention and your love on something else, okay? So that's the first mistake to avoid, is to assume that other people in your life, especially people that you're close to, should accept and understand. They may not. And honestly, that is okay. They don't have to understand. There is no rule that they should understand your relationship. It is a different story if they're pouring negativity onto it. That's when you may need to distance yourself, but just the fact that they don't understand, learning how to be okay with that is a big part of finding your happiness as a human being in general. All right, so that is the first mistake to avoid. The second mistake to avoid is, if you are the younger partner, don't assume that the older partner is above you because they're older and they're wiser and they're more experienced and they're more knowledgeable. All of those things may be true, but do not put them on a pedestal above you. You are both human beings at the end of the day. You both make mistakes. You both bleed red. You both poop shit, right? Like, you are both humans and you are both doing your best on this planet. And the reason why I say don't put them on a pedestal is because you create this energetic imbalance in your relationship where if you see someone above you, you automatically put yourself below them, and that can actually cause them to see you below them, which I promise you in the long run, they will lose respect for you. They will talk to you condescendingly, and that does not make for a healthy relationship. And it's only because you put yourself there first. We treat people, no, let me take it back. We teach people how we want to be treated. So if you see your partner as above you, eventually they're going to think, well, this person keeps treating themselves as below me, so I guess that's what they are. They're not thinking this consciously, it's a subconscious thing, but I promise you, I want you to understand that you are a valuable human, even if you may not be as experienced or knowledgeable or wise. You have so much to contribute in your relationship. There is nobody that is you, and that is your power. And you may have heard that before. It may sound like a cliche, but it is so true. Nobody is you, and that is 100% your power. Okay? Now, my last mistake to avoid, I completely forgot. I have it in my notes on my phone, so give me 1 second. I'm like on a tangent. Oh, yes, okay. Last mistake to avoid is to avoid thinking about the future because you're scared. Because you know that with an age gap relationship, statistically, one person is more likely to die a lot earlier than the other person, leaving you alone. And I believe it is very vital to think about this very real potential future that you will have. I'm not trying to get you to harp on it or to spiral in that negativity, but just the reality is, hey, okay, one of us is probably going to go before the other. First of all, just accepting that and thinking about that can help you make peace with it. But what is really difficult is when you never set yourself up to understand that and you never make peace with that. So when the time comes, you are devastated. You are a wreck because you haven't emotionally and mentally prepared yourself for that to happen. It's like when a family member falls sick and they get a chronic diagnosis that they're going to die in, 2 years, right? And so initially, you are heartbroken, but eventually, after a few months or even a year, you will make peace with the fact that, okay, this person is going to go. This person's going to go, and I'm just going to make the most of my time with them. Versus that same person, they get in a car accident, God forbid, in an hour, out of nowhere, and just die on the spot. And you have no mental preparation for the loss of that person and the shock that you are now left with, and the devastation is traumatic. It is absolutely traumatic. Not that the chronic diagnosis is not traumatic as well, but there is a different experience of being able to mentally prepare for something that's going to happen versus it just hitting you blue in the face. So why I say this is understand that, hey, your partner may pass before you, you may pass before your other partner, and you don't have to, get all your ducks in a row and know exactly your game plan for what's going to happen. Life changes, you change, you may be a different person when that time comes. But again, just understanding, hey, like, my time with this person is limited, especially depending on how much and how drastic the age gap is. I need to cherish every moment that I have with this person, and also understand that, hey, like, I am eventually going to be alone. I need to learn how to do things on my own, especially if this person is taking care of you in many ways, or is doing things for you around the house, or has skills that you know are very valuable skills that you may need to have eventually. Just preparing for these small things can really help you in the long run. And I know this is a very morbid topic to talk about, but it's the reality of it. It is the reality that when you're in, and even if you're in a relationship where you're not in an age gap, it could always happen where one person dies earlier for, you know, whatever reason. Life happens, diseases happen, but again, just being in an age gap relationship, it's much more likely to happen that one person is going to pass earlier than the younger partner. And so again, just mentally preparing yourself for that, especially as a younger partner, me, can really help you make peace with that. And not even, I mean, you don't have to fully make peace with that, but just be able to better handle it when the time comes. It's like setting yourself up for retirement. Yeah, you're not, especially if you're in your 20s, I'm not going to retire for a long time, but that doesn't mean I should not think about that now and set myself up for success for retirement now, because when the time comes and I have not set myself up for success in that area, I am going to regret it. All right, so those are my 3 age gap relationship mistakes to avoid. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't really like talking about like mistakes. I don't like talking about negative things, but I also know that these videos personally really help me. It's life. I would consider myself a positive person, but life is not always positive. There are hard things we have to deal with, and I do think it's important that we talk about it, to normalize it and to understand that we're not alone in these hard times, in these eventual hard times. We're not alone. We're all human. We all go through a lot of the same things. It just may look different in everyone's lives, but we all go through many of the same trials and tribulations throughout our lives. So again, I hope this was helpful for you. If not, just you hanging out with me for however long this video was, 11 minutes. You hanging out with me for these 11 minutes. I hope it brought some insight, something valuable to your day. And if you have a request for me for what video you'd like me to talk about, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Also, I would love it, appreciate it so much if you followed me on Instagram at Viv's Gym. That is my fitness account. If you want more personal relationship type stuff, you can also follow me at Vivian No. And I'm gonna spell that out because you probably, I'm gonna spell it out. It's at VIVIANNNNGO. 3 N's, and then there's a G in the no part. The G is silent. All right. So anyways, thank you for joining me. I'm just happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. All right. Bye, guys.